In this video, we're introducing the new April Wood Brewer. Welcome, my name is Patrick Rolfe and this is Coffee with April. For this video, we're introducing a new product here at April, something that I've been working on for quite some time. It's been a little bit of a passion project of mine and a bit different from what we usually do. When I say different is that one of the things that we really wanted to do with this product is to really highlight quality craftsmanship, something that we really believe in and something that we really want to support here at April. So as you might already know, we have a range of different April brewers, everything from plastic, glass to ceramic. And now what we want to introduce to you is the new April Wood Brewer. This wood brewer is quite special because it's 100% made in Japan. And it's been a very long product. It took us a lot of time, and now we're finally got a model that we're really happy with. They're going to be released in very limited quantities. Each release is going to feature a different wood type. So basically from the brewer that we have today, it's going to be very, very limited, right? Now, part of this project, which has been really interesting, is connecting with these different craftsmen basically all over Japan. And we're able to do that because of a link that we have here in Copenhagen. A lot of you probably have heard us reference Akiko and Ken, a local wood shop just north of Copenhagen that we've been working with in different ways for our April store here in Copenhagen. Now, they have been able to help us develop the prototype of the April Wood Brewer initially, but then also connect us with some local craftspeople in Japan that's been able to then develop this product together with us. Now, one of the interesting things with the brewer, there's a lot of interesting things, but one of the main things is that the top part of the brewer is actually made from one solid block of wood that is basically carved out. And that is done by a craftsman called Takehito. And when that process is done, it's basically delivered to basically a workshop that is specializing in lacquering the product, right? Making sure that we can use this for a very long time and making sure to minimize any kind of bite taste that can come from the material or the lacquer in itself as well, right? Now, this is a process, and we've been giving this brewer a lot of rigorous testing before we actually launched it to you. We had it here for several months now. And there's a few things that you have to keep in mind. And I mentioned in the beginning of this video that this is going to be a little bit different from another April products, right? Normally the products we launched are there to basically make the best possible cup in the world. We're not saying you can't make a great cup of coffee here, but we are saying that there is a little bit of care and afterthought that you have to take into consideration if you go for this brewer, right? From my own perspective, this is more of an art piece category rather than a brewer that I'm going to use every single day, right? It is wood, and even though it's properly lacquered, what's going to happen is that it's going to basically expand and change and move a little bit as soon as it gets wet. That is afterwards, when it's dried, and you need to dry this after every single brew you do, it's going to go back to its kind of original form, right? But over time, that is going to change a little bit, not in a way that it's going to impact the brew too negatively, but there's going to be a little bit of a change, right? Now, obviously not a product that you're going to push in the dishwasher at home as well, right? That's something you do have to consider whenever you're using it. And we find in general, also because of the packaging, that when we take out this brewer, we have to season it. So that basically means we have to run up to 4 to 5 brews on it initially to make sure that any kind of taste from the material itself actually alleviates. And you see with time that it actually gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. And now with this brewer, we're up around brew number 10, brew number 15-ish. And we are now basically not able to taste anything negative from the material itself, right? So again, this is a bit of a journey, a bit of a different process and product in general. But we just love the fact that we're able to make this with some of the best craftspeople in Japan. And it's been such an exciting kind of range of work and range of products for us. So we're really happy to be able to share that with you. Now, what we're going to do also in this video is that we're going to just share one of those kind of basic April recipes. There's not much of a difference in terms of how we use this brewer. We use it very similar to the other ones. It's also designed to basically perform very similar, right? Now, given that it is wood, there's a few different things in the design. You see that the normal kind of custom holes on the wings are actually small rings closer to the base. you will see that the actual flat base of the brewer is going to be a little bit wider. So we recommend using the large April paper filter when you brew. Obviously, there are two different parts, so you have to be a little bit careful when you lift up the top part here from the base itself. Apart from that, it's really kind of straightforward. So we're going to start, as always, with a proper rinse and let that water go through. The coffee that we're using today is an Ethiopian coffee, single farmer project, fresh crop Rugessa, a natural process Krum varietal that we've been very happy with. These days we find a lot of kind of stone fruit, a lot of red fruit, a little bit of that kind of natural character, but not in a way that it interferes with the cleanliness of the cup itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to dose 13 grams of coffee. So a little bit more than what we're used to. And that's also just because we have a slightly wider base here, so we can actually fill in a little bit of coffee. We shake that down. Water temperatures, it's at 92 degrees Celsius. And we're going to do that stable, kind of normal 100 gram pour. Now, when we do those pours, we want to try to be as close to the actual brewer as we can. And we want to make sure that each pour is ready within those 10 seconds, right? Now, the height of where you're pouring, whether it's going to be down here or up here, actually makes a big impact on how that water goes to the coffee due to the turbulence that comes from the brew itself and how you move around the coffee inside of the filter. So pay a lot of attention to that when you're pouring, and you're going to see that there's a lot you can adjust just by changing that pouring height. So standard 100 gram pour, we're going to let that sit to 40 seconds, and then we replicate that pour pretty much identical. So we're averaging 10 grams per second pretty much, starting in a 70 gram circle and 30 gram center pour. That's basically it. And now we're just going to let that go down. Now, with the April Wood Brewer, we find very similar brew times as we do on, for example, the plastic brewer. Again, because we have a slightly wider base, which is going to allow a little bit of a thinner coffee bed. And that's one of those things that has a massive impact on the raw quality of it. Now, we're just going to let this go through, and then we're going to come right back with you with a little bit of feedback and details about the brewer and about the brew itself. So the brew is done. We're looking at a 2:30 total brew time, a little bit of a coarser grind size here because we experienced Rugessa to be quite dense in general. It's not really a reference towards the brewer, but more in terms of the coffee that we're using in itself. Now, again, so this product here, or this brewer, is basically turned out of one solid kind of piece of wood, which is really interesting in the first place. And then after that, it's delivered to another workshop, a Mr. Hinoki, that is then doing all of the lacquering of the product, right? And Hinoki and his team is also the ones that have created this exclusive packaging for the brewer itself, which we are really, really happy with. And again, this is really a brewer that we're looking for, or we're looking at as a collectible, right? It's something, if you want something really special at home, brew with every once in a while. If you brew with this every single day, multiple brews, it's not going to hold up for a lifetime, right? So it's something that we actually have to be really careful with. But we at April think it's really interesting to be able to actually showcase that kind of high quality product as well. But we're really kind of just celebrating the craftsmanship of the product in itself. And again, you're able to brew some really tasty brews as well. The Rugessa here comes out really juicy, really kind of fruit forward, which is kind of a perfect balance. Again, also because it is a Japanese made brewer, be welcome, or like feel free to do a little bit higher ratios than usual, a little bit more coffee maybe than usual as well, to really kind of celebrate that. And I think over time we're going to present a few different recipes that are more kind of Japanese inspired as well, just because it really fits with that brewer itself, right? Now, this brewer is basically going to be live when you see this video, more or less. It's going to be live in a very, very limited amount of units. We're talking about 100 units in total of this style of wood. After this, we're basically going to try different woods in the future, right? So if you want to get one, now it's kind of your time. Now, with that, that was all for this time. Again, we're really happy to be able to kind of introduce a new brewer in the April Brewer family. I would want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you share, and if you have any thoughts, any comments, you're more than welcome to comment down below here. We're always happy to take that conversations. And with that, we just want to say thank you for watching and have a good day. We want to give a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. It's because of you that we are able to continue to make these videos. And we want you all to feel free to always come with suggestions and ideas on the content that you want to see, because we are doing this for you and because of you. Thank you from all of us here at April.